So today, as you may have seen on the thumbnail that we shared, we want to talk about the power of attitude, which is literally continuing in the same place we left last week. The power of your attitude that affects your poverty or financial situation as well as your health. The first one, I have some points here, Gifty, we can discuss it. And we just want you to also share your thoughts with us. So we welcome comments. Don't sit on some people have beautiful ideas, and they just sit and watch quietly and then they go home with their ideas. Please share with us. And then also when you share, it's not just us, but other people who are watching also benefit when you share your ideas. So pick up your piece of paper and pencil and share it. If we don't see it now because of our inability to, see all of them, we will eventually acknowledge receipt when we finish the show. All right. So the first point that I want us to talk about is an attitude of praise or an attitude of acknowledging little successes. Do you want to start with that, or
an attitude of praise?
Yes, that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm. So we can maybe praise. We can say praise and thanksgiving, right? So if you are grateful of what God has given you, the things that you have, the attitude of being thankful of the life, even just having life in you is something that you be thankful about. You give praise for having life. So acknowledging the little success in your life for having life is something that you can be thankful or you be grateful for. So having a grateful heart, the power in that is going to change the way you do things. The way you do things. So you have to have the attitude of praise and thanksgiving. So we have Thanksgiving coming up this Thursday, right? So we are going to be grateful. We are going to be thankful. We are going to be praise God or praise the little success that we've achieved. So by doing that, the power behind it is that you feel liberated. Like you feel that you have a merry heart. I think I read something from Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22, says that a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up bones. A cheerful heart. So having a cheerful heart, that attitude that you have can help you break through or have this hope in you that you are going to make it in life. Or that cheerful heart that, I'm able to acquire this knowledge. I'm learning about my situation now, my disease state now, and it's going to be okay. That attitude of having that help you to overcome some difficulties in life.
Wow.
So praise and thanksgiving is very good to have.
That's a good perspective right there. I like that. Now, I also want to add that, again, I'll refer to the last video that we posted. Please make sure you go to our channel and see that video. It will be helpful. I'll also say that acknowledge the little successes. To have an attitude that overcomes poverty and disease, you have to acknowledge the little successes. Because when you acknowledge those little things, it will motivate you to sort of go up higher and do something better. So if you despise the little things, even the scripture says that do not despise, little beginnings, right? So if you despise the little things that you achieve in this life, chances are that you are not even going to look for more because you don't even value the things you have already achieved. This year, you may think that you didn't do anything. As we begin to review our actions in the past year, you may think that I think nothing much was done. No, look at the positive side, the things that are small that you underlook, that's things that you overlook, as you say, that you don't really think are meaningful. Look at those and praise yourself. That's why we say praise. Praise yourself and praise God for those little achievements that you've done. And the most basic one is what Gifty said. The first thing is the life you are on, right? That's the first thing you got to be grateful for. And then the second thing is, what did you do? What are some of the little things that you achieved? Is it in family terms? How many times you brought your wife out? How many times you went to church? How many times you visited your doctor on time? You made appointments to make sure that you are checked. You got your vaccinations done. You are doing the right things. So acknowledge those little things so that when it comes to big things, you can spring forth from those little achievements and get higher things. But if you look down on little things, then you are not going to even make the attempt to move higher. So you always have to move from the little to the bigger. If you have no little, you probably wouldn't, agree that there's something there else that you can do. So do not despise the small things. Do not look down on the things that you have been able to achieve. Look at them and encourage yourself. And that is good for your mental health. And that is what the video I'm talking about refers to. It brings a sense of well-being. You feel good. And as Gifty said, those of us in the US, we are going to celebrate Thanksgiving on this Thursday, this week. What are you going to be thankful for? Do you really feel that, you have achieved something? If you don't look on those little things, it will just be eating and letting the day pass. But if you look back and say that, hey, this year I was able to exercise many more times than I used to. This year I was able to do 3 exercises per week. I was able to run 30 minutes a week this year. I used to do only once, or I didn't even do it before. Or this year I even eat better. This year is the year that I've actually included some greens in my diet. This year I ate less fatty meals. This year I ate less starchy foods. Those are, you may think you didn't do, but that is good to celebrate. And then from that going forward to next year, you can say that, oh, this is what I did last year. This year, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to make it everyday exercise instead of just 3 days a week. So if you don't appreciate those little things, then your attitude will be like, oh, everything is not working. And if everything is not working, then you are not going to be moved to overcome your poverty or the disease situation that you are in. So that is what I think I will add onto that.
And I think you can also, not just for you, people around you, when you see there is something good about somebody that you've known. Oh, sweetie, I've seen that you've lost a little weight. So you praise the person. And by praising the person will have like this merry heart and continue to do more. Your kids are with you and they are doing something. They've done well at school, or their behavior is unique or something about them that needs praise. Just praise them.
Just praise them.
Just praise them. The more that you praise them, for them to have this, that the Bible put it as or merry heart. Like you are excited that somebody has noticed something. And that notification will make you be like, oh, I've done well. And the cheerful heart is what will lead, is a good medicine. Having that in you, somebody praising you. So don't be selfish. If you see people around you doing well, praise them.
Praise them.
And as you praise them, somebody will also acknowledge you and see what you are also doing and praise you. And the more that you do that, it boosts each other's confidence. That's the power behind it. That's the power that we are talking about. It boosts your morale. You want to do more. You want to achieve more. If like you graduated, you have your first degree, tell the person you have done well and encourage the person to move on to another level. If you encounter a new adventure and you're like, this will be good for my sister, share with them. Share that idea with them.
Yes.
And encourage them to do more. You can see a potential in somebody. Just encourage them to keep going higher and higher. And in so doing, we are going to break out from poverty and we are going to build wealth and overcome diseases in our lives.
Definitely. I like that. So this is all to lift you up from your situation, which may not be something you are proud of, but you got to do those things and it will help you. Now, the next point is the power of positivity. What being positive can do as an attitude. If you have a positive attitude, you have an attitude that is able to overcome the odds. And in this case, we are talking about diseases and poverty. Positive attitude is one that can help overcome a lot of problems. Don't assume the outcomes of chances to be always negative. What do I mean by that? How, especially for some of us, when we think about either opening a business or, going to college or going to school or doing something that has not been done, you know that, the odds are maybe you can either pass or fail, right? That would be some of the odds. But people dwell on the fail part and say that, well, if I can fail, then I'm not going to do it. that is not being positive. What if you dwell on the other half, which says that you will pass or you can pass, even if it's 50% chance? Most of the time it is like 80-20. Like 80% of the time you will succeed and 20% of the time you will fail. But we dwell on the negative, and then the negative pushes us down, and we say that, okay, then I'd rather remain in my situation. I'm poor. I'm just going to remain here. After all, I can get my food. I can pay my rent. After all, nobody's chasing me to get any better life. I just like this life. And then you remain there until something bad happens, But if you have that positive attitude, always looking out for the things in the future to be positive, even if there are odds also for negative. I'm not talking about 100%. It is like you're investing in a business. When you do stock market and stuff, they tell you that there's a risk that you will lose. And honey, I lost some stock market money when I first migrated. I put some money there, and during the technology boom, I knew I could lose it, and I lost. But I don't want to say how much I lost. I lost all the money because, first of all, I wasn't educated in it, and I did it all myself. But that doesn't tell me that I cannot invest anymore. I have actually invested more since. Why? Because I'm positive that this time around I can win. But if the outlook for negative overburden me so much, then I would say, hey, I'm not even going to invest anymore. Why? Because what if I lose again? Well, what if I gain this time? That's how you should look at life. What if I gain? Yeah, it's possible you could lose, but what if you gain? And that is where we're saying that to have the ability to overcome your situation, your poor situation, your disease situation, have a positive outlook and go out there, launch into the deep and see how much you can catch. You can catch out of the deep blue sea. So that is where I'm coming from. You have anything to add to that?
So having a positive attitude means being optimistic. Like you've already said, being optimistic, looking at the positive side of things in your thinking. If you dwell so much on the negative, the power behind it is that you are going to slack. You are going to relax because in your head, in your mind, you think that, it's not going to work out. But if you become so optimistic in the adventure, in whatever you want to encounter, and you say that it's going to be good, good things are going to come out of it. You are being positive, you're being optimistic, and that will work for your good. That will empower you to do your best because you are looking on the positive side. Like somebody said that there is no way that you can maintain certain weight, because weight loss is like up and down. And I know that again and all that. But what about you trying? What about trying to lose the weight and getting information to keep that weight? And you know that if I lose weight, what are the outcomes? It's likely that I'm going to stop taking my blood pressure medication. It's going to be like my resistance to insulin is going to be reduced, right? So all that out there, if you look at the positive side and say that, yes, I can do it, it's going to turn up, it's going to work for my good. You are being positive. So in life, there are a lot of challenges. It's going to work for your good. So don't dwell so much on the negative. Dwell on the positive. And by dwelling on the positive, being positive is going to empower you to succeed, to overcome. I have this sister that talked to me last time and said that, if I lose weight, it's likely that I'm going to stop taking this medication. I said, yeah, there is a study that shows that if you lose 10 pounds, the level of the reading, blood pressure goes down by 10.
So by 5, I think.
By 5 to 10. Yeah, so like losing weight helps, So you tell yourself that, yes, let me try it. I can do it. People have tried and failed, all right, but I want to win. I want to succeed. And by being positive, it's likely that you are going to overcome it and you are going to live your best life by trying, because there is a power behind having a positive attitude towards situations. Amen.
Wow. You're preaching now. My wife is preaching now. It's preaching to the church right now. Yes. All right. So that was very insightful. Actually, being pessimistic and optimistic and stuff like that. Yeah. So I like the example with the weight loss because a lot I can hear a lot of, especially, don't pick up on me. A lot of women saying that this weight loss thing is a journey. Up and down, up and down. Let me just do what I can. No, even if it's up and down, keep doing it. You may strike an average, right? And that's positive. But to give up completely and say that, hey, I can do this. If when I try, I weigh, I lose about 10 pounds, and before I know, I gain it back. Well, keep doing it until it becomes stable, or keep doing it at least there's an average for that. It's better than to,
Let
just
go.
give up completely because of the negative side of what you're saying. So that's very important point right there. Now the next one, unless you want to add anything,
Let's continue.
but the point I wrote about this, and before we move on for positive outcomes, is hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Hope for the best but prepare for the worst. So when you are doing something and the outlook is not 100% win, you do it and hope for the best. But then you prepare yourself that even if it fails, even if you don't win, it is okay because, like we said earlier, you tried, right? So hope for the best and prepare for the outcome that you don't so much like. It's better that way. Be positive. That's how you can stay positive. Otherwise, you are not going to do much. Now, sister gave us a comment and said that I think she said that we want to know how much you lost.
Did you prepare for the worst though when you were investing it?
Oh, I did. I knew that, like everything, the stock market is not 100%. And even up to today, you know, investing in the stock market is a 50-50 chance. I mean, most likely more than 50, because even if you lose the money, if you leave it in there for a long time, you can recover. But there's no guarantee. It's not like putting your money in the bank. The money is insured by the federal government. So even if the bank goes under, you get your money back. But stock market is not like that. And yet the people who do not, invest, those are the people who don't make money. Why? Because they never looked at the positive side. They did not look at it. They said, what if I lose? And because what if I lose came in, they never invested, so they were poor. But the people who say that, hey, I'm going to hope for the best and prepare for the worst, they won. Some people win and then they made more money. The next thing is faith. Faith. Faith, in religious terms, you always talk about faith being the evidence of things not seen, hoping for things that you haven't seen. But it starts from having even the belief in you that there's something you can, achieve that is not seen. So the first element of faith is to trust in yourself. Trust or have confidence in yourself. It goes back to our last week point of self-esteem. But trust in yourself that you can do something. There's a difference between self-esteem and having complete trust or faith in yourself. Self-esteem is believing you are worth something. Some people don't even believe that they are worth anything. And they actually make statements in some languages, which I don't want to share here. But, translating, they say that, oh, people are nothing. Well, that is because you don't have confidence. You don't have self-confidence. But to have faith is to trust that who you are can also achieve something. So having the confidence that you are somebody, and then faith is trusting that you can achieve something, whether it is nearby or far off in the future. So that is the difference there. So for you to be able to beat poverty, for you to be able to beat disease, on this episode 6, our advice to you, the third advice to you, is that have complete trust in yourself that you can do it. Let nobody tell you you cannot do it. You can do it. Whatever you put your mind to do, you can do it. That is the faith in yourself. You haven't seen yourself do it before, but you can do it. Like I'm saying, this live show, I hadn't done live show before. Just fidgeting with computer. We are no experts. But because I believed I could do it, now you are watching live or watching the replay. If I said that, oh, as for me and computers, I can, then obviously you won't even try. So faith is to have a complete trust in yourself that you can do whatever is ahead that you want to do. And then the second part of faith is to trust that God is going to help you. God, that is where we always dwell on the religious part. God, having faith in God, that whatever you ask him, you shall receive, even though it may not be, evident right next to you. But you believing in God that you can. So believing in God that he can do it. And then the first one, believing in you that you can do what is humanly possible when it comes to human terms. Yours is also to have faith that you too, you can do something. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I can also add by saying to have faith that you have everything that you need to succeed in life. You have this faith that you've been equipped from head to toe, that whatever the challenge is out there, you believe in yourself that God has endowed you with everything that you need to succeed. So if you have that faith, some people confuse the faith with hope. Oh, I hope tomorrow is going to be okay. Faith is deeper than that. It's deeper. It goes deep. So having that faith gives you that power to succeed because of the faith you have in yourself, that I can do it because I've been equipped. I have life now. I have the ability to understand situations. I have a way to dissect and discern and to know things in my way to be successful. So if having that faith will give you that power to succeed in life. But if you don't have faith and you just sit and wait for things to happen to you, then you're going to remain in this poverty that we are talking about. So you should have faith if you want to break through. That attitude of faith that you are going to say that it's like, it's not there. Everything around you shows that there is no way that you succeed. But because of your faith, you are going to go more. You're going to try harder. You're going to believe more in circumstances that is going to be well with you. So having faith is very important. Should be your attitude that is going to be well. Things around me may say that I'm not going to make it. From where I'm coming from, the way that I speak, the things that I do, the food that we eat, that we are used to eating.
How can I change my diet and lose weight?
How can I change my diet?
This one is not for me.
So regardless, but we have faith that we can do something better because of what we know or who we are or what we have. So having that attitude empower you to break through.
Wow. I'm telling you, she is on fire, man. That is deep. That is deep. Having that faith will push you forward. So do not limit yourself. You can do this, but you got to believe that faith is having evidence of something you have not seen. So like she said, you can see your bones are big. Your flesh is big. You come from a family of big people. Everybody, excuse me to say, is fat, but you want to beat diabetes. You want to beat heart disease. You want to beat obesity. You don't say that, as for me, the whole family is like that. But you're seeing yourself already big, and so you give up. But that's not what you should think or do. What you should do is trust that you have been given enough strength to achieve whatever it is in this life that you can. And that is what faith is. Looking at the negative odds and coming out and still saying that I will beat this because I believe in myself. And then when it comes to asking God for something, you also believe that God will answer you in spite of the odds. So faith is deep. Faith is deep. I mean, if you don't have the attitude of faith in you, so having that confidence and trust in you yourself, then don't even bother asking God for anything. I may be wrong. I mean, I'm not a pastor or anything. But if you are not able to believe that God has implanted in you the abilities to do the things that human beings can do, then how can you trust him to do the things that God can do? You got to first believe that whatever it's in this life that he has given you power over. I mean, there are certain things that you don't expect God to come and lose the weight for you. You don't expect God to make you beat the diabetes in your family. You don't expect God to come and, tell you to beat the heart disease. Everybody in your family dies around 50, 40 heart attack, stroke, black clot, you know it's going on. God has made you live to see it, but you got to have faith that I am going to beat it. I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm not going to be part of the numbers in the family. And the only way you can do it, it's not just praying and say, God, protect me. No, God is protecting you. But when it comes to human things, when it comes to the things that he has given to us to control, he will expect you to do it. And if you don't have faith, if you don't believe in that fact that he has placed in you the ability to overcome that issue, then you will sit and disease will come. And then you'll be like, oh, God failed me, I prayed. Well, you can pray all you want. But if it comes to the things that God has given us to control, he expects you to take that bold initiative and then control them. He's not going to come to it and control and raise your kids for you. You just pray for them and then do your part as a human being. But you can't just pray and say that when they do anything, I'm not saying anything to them because I've already prayed. That is not right. So faith is believing that you can do that which is in your hands to do, that you are able. If it is human beings that can do it, if human beings can do it, then you too. Forget about your education, forget about where you come from, like Gift was saying. But believe that you too, you are there, and you too, you can do it. And when you stick to it like that, trust me, the strength will come. The knowledge that you think because you don't have a college degree or a university master's degree or a doctorate degree, you can do that. Knowledge will come, and then you'll be marveled. Just want to use this to tell our viewers about the exams that we took this week, right? So because we are telling and teaching people how to overcome poverty, we invested our time in financial education, and we took an exam to become licensed in financial matters. So right now, Gifty has passed and I have passed all in one day. And if I tell you how much time we have on our hands to study, you will be marveled. And you had time to study? Yes, we did. Not much, but because we believe that, hey, if people can do it, we too can do it. We committed ourselves to it. Not that we didn't study as much, but just the mere fact of believing that we can pass. It gave us the morale to study a little bit, watch those videos that we needed to watch, and then take the exam. And we did it, and we passed in one shot. It's not because we are anything. We are no different. It is because we believe in ourselves that we can. But if you start right from the get-go and say that, there's no way I can do this, you won't even register for the exam because already you have said that you can't. So that is where trusting in what God has given you to control is something that you should be able to do. So that is that. I don't know if you have anything to add. Otherwise, we'll go to the last point.
The power of attitude, your attitude, if you are including faith to be one of the attitude, there is power in it.
Hey.
There is power in that.
That is really deep. You said once you believe there is power. I didn't even think about it. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. There's power. Wow. Wow. You want to continue or you're done with that point?
I'm done with that point.
All right. So I think we will delve deeper. That is deep. That is deep. So she's saying that when you believe that you can do it, there's power. And I believe that when you believe you could do, that's when the Holy Spirit will come and empower you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But if you say you cannot, then even if you have the Holy Spirit, he just sleeps because, my host says he cannot or she cannot. So what do? I just sleep here and wait for them until they believe they can. All right. So that's a very useful point right there. All right. Hey, we are getting congrats on the fly for passing our exams. My brother Jeremiah and a wife are saying congrats, guys. Yes, thank you. All right, we're going to start teaching people how to make money using what we have learned and potentially help others to come out of poverty because it's important. We can't just talk about it and not help people. So we're going to do that as we talk about health and other things. All right, so the last point, and then we will be done, is pragmatism. The attitude of pragmatism. Are you pragmatic enough? Do you want to take this first?
Start.
Okay, so pragmatism is actually dealing with things sensibly. And I have key words I'm going to underline. The first key word is sensibly. And then the other key word is realistically. So dealing with things sensibly, dealing with things realistically, and in the way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. So I'm going to read the whole thing. Pragmatism is dealing with things, or to be pragmatic is to be dealing with things sensibly, first keyword. Second keyword, realistically and in the way that is based on practical and rather than theoretical considerations. So let's take those keywords one by one. The first one is sensibly. First one is sensibly. What do we mean by that? We talked about having faith, right? And some people, all they have is faith. They have no mixed sensibilities with their faith. Or they can tell you how much faith they have in themselves. As for me, I can do this. Oh, you watch. And yet it is not sensible enough. I mean, how can you tell me that you're going to become a professor when you don't have a college degree? Unless you're going to start all over. So you have to be sensible in the things that you talk about. That's being pragmatic. So if you are pragmatic, your outlook is big, but not bigger than what doesn't make sense. Because you can talk about things and you will not make sense. People look at you, what? What are you talking about? Are you crazy? You're going to be a professor and you don't even have a high school education. You can, but it's going to take you a long time. Especially if you say that next year, by this time, I'm going to be a professor and you don't have a college degree. I mean, if you say that in 20 years, I'm going to be a professor and you have no high school degree, oh, I will believe you because it is mixed with time. The timing is good enough to let us know how you're going to get there. But if you make out wild statements, it's not mixed with sense. It doesn't make sense. And some people are using religion and commanding and bulldozing. I break this, I do this, I build this, I'm going to build a castle. Meanwhile, they don't even have what it takes to have an apartment. They are not doing that. There's nothing that shows that what they are saying makes sense. So that is not being pragmatic. If you have that non-pragmatic attitude, you continue to make wild, nonsensible statements that furnishes you nothing, no results. And every day, everybody, and the sad thing is, when the men do that, some women actually fall for it. Some women actually fall for it. Oh, they see every woman and I'm going to do this. I'm going to build a castle. I'm going to buy a Rolls Royce. I'm going to do this. And then the woman is, oh, really? Oh, my goodness, you are a shot. And this man doesn't even have a job. He is just going from place to place, walking on the streets and doing nothing. That is not sensible. That they may have that confidence that they can, but it's not mixed with sensibilities. It's not pragmatism. That is what it is. The second keyword, unless you want to add anything.
Continue.
The second keyword is being realistic. Being realistic. What you're saying, is it mixed with reality? Is it something that is real or is an abstract? Certain things are an abstract way of saying things. They don't have any place in nature. I mean, if you tell me that you're going to be an astronaut, you're going to be an astronaut, unless you are younger than my son or just starting out, it makes, it may not be realistic. How many people can go? I mean, you can be an astronaut, all right, but say you're going to go to the moon. How many astronauts even go on the moon? A few, right? So your proclamations or your statements must be mixed with reality, a fact based. It can be checked with nature. It can be checked with evidence on what is on you that shows that yes, this is real. Don't make wild, unreal statements. It doesn't bring you anywhere. So mix the fact that we say have faith and have confidence in you. It still has to be within the boundaries of reality, realism, not wild statements.
So let's take this one in line of health, right? You know that you have this weight that you have to lose. You said that this week I'm going to lose 10 pounds. That's not realistic.
That's not realistic.
That's not realistic. Meanwhile, your grocery and everything has the loaded sugar. You have the carbohydrates. You have everything around you that shows that there is no way that you can lose 10 pounds in 1 week. That is not realistic. So as we are talking about this, you have to be realistic that, okay, how do I start? When I go grocery, what kinds of foods do I buy? Then after you brought them home, am I going to prep? Am I going to get things ready for the week? That you are being pragmatic. you're being realistic, that you mean what you are talking about,
Not just
and
wild
you want to
statements.
achieve what you are planning to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't throw this wild assumption there that, oh, I'm going to lose, like the year is coming to an end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe beginning of the year, we all talked about losing 20 pounds at the end of the year, but we didn't set anything.
No goals.
No,
No
nothing.
strategies.
No, nothing. We just throw it out there. We have to be sensible in whatever we are planning on doing. We have to be realistic.
Realistic.
Like, is it real? So you know that, okay, losing 2 pounds a week is achievable. It's realistic. So you start from there.
Start from there.
And when you hit that goal, celebrate it.
Celebrate it. That is where we say praise. Praise a little successes. Yeah.
That you are doing something.
And then shoot for a little more. So
Yes.
I'm going to do 3 pounds
Yes.
next week.
And you are being positive that you can do it. You are not being negative that, oh, don't worry, next week you will gain everything
Anyway,
back.
and somebody will tell you that's
yeah.
the sad part of life. So even if you don't think about the negative, there are so many people out there who are specialized in giving you the negative. I am telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, people specialize in doing that. It's the easiest way out. Especially when they cannot do it. It is easier for them to tell you that, oh, it's not possible. You think you can do this? Nah, come on, man. Look at what you did. You can't do this. So go ahead.
Yeah, so you have to do it in such a way that you are doing it bit by bit. You are being realistic of whatever you want to achieve. And as you do it slowly, you realize that you are coming out of your situation, out of your poverty, right? So you know that you spend a lot, but you want to become a millionaire, right? And you know that your income, whatever you are making, is not as much as what you are spending. You are not being realistic. There is no way that you
You're not
become a
being
millionaire.
realistic.
So you have to see where it's leaking, right?
It's leaking.
You have to seal all the leaks.
The leaking is trouble. It makes a lot of people. a lot of leaks in pockets,
Yes,
right?
and you have to do things realistically so that you will achieve your goals.
Wow. All right, the last key word, and then we'll bring the show to a conclusion, is be practical. Be practical. Something that is practical. That is, it is doable, basically. So there's realistic, which is based in nature and the things that are possible. And then there's practical, things that can actually be done. You cannot just make a statement that next year, I'm going to say what example comes. I'm going to make sure that my blood pressure comes down. If it is 140, millimeters mercury over, say, 95, and you say that I'm going to make my blood pressure come down, how are you going to do it? So be practical about that. So it boils down to a little bit of what Gifty was saying.
Yeah.
How to do it. Is it practical? Is it something that can be done? Is it something that is within human capabilities? Unless angels are coming down to do it for you, can a human being do it? If you set that goal and you don't eat right, you don't take your medication, you don't do exercise, it is not practical. It is just a hearsay. So be practical, not just theory. The theory is just throwing out the numbers, making those wild guesses and wild proclamations that I'm a mighty man, and yet you are an afraid man.
And we also throw this one in a lot. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
And then we don't
Meanwhile,
start anything.
you are not doing anything.
You can do it, but
you can
are you
do
doing
all
it?
things.
But are you doing it? That's the question.
Yes.
You can do all things through. So that what Paul was saying, that I can do when I start, then God will help me. But
Yes.
if you're not doing it and you're just making those wild, unpractical statements, you continue to say them and you're not going to achieve anything. So the key is be practical. Bring it to earth. Don't say it in heaven and leave
Spiritualize it.
Yes. Don't leave it in the air and hope that it will be done. God is a practical God. He's practical about everything. When he wanted Jesus to come on earth, he could have just thrown him from heaven from heaven and just drop him, and then he starts saving lives. But he was practical. He wanted it to work like human beings understand. And so he went through, a birth just like we know, and then he came out. Even that, he could have still not done that, but he did. He wanted it to be practical enough for us. And some people don't even think it's practical enough. They say that, but a man didn't sleep with Mary. How did that happen? It's not practical. That is how life is. If you don't make things practical, it's even hard for people to accept you, even when you are God. When God has said, God has done it, we human beings still think that it should be this way because that is the practical way of doing things. But He's God. And yet we are making wild claims about things that are not practical. So we got to make sure that we change our way of doing things and be practical about the statements that we make, and about, especially as we hit the end of the year, many people are going to set new goals. And we hope that as you do that, you make it practical enough and achievable, not just based in the air or theoretical. All right. I think that is about all that our points will allow. Now, if you have any comments, you will still have time to share with us, and definitely share the stream. Even though we are coming to an end, it's still day out there in a lot of places, and people are going to watch. If you share on your Facebook, if you share on your YouTube, wherever you are watching us from, make sure that you share. Let me see if I can read any comments from Facebook. My Facebook comments are not coming through. But be practical about it. If do you have any concluding remarks?
Yeah, so we talked about how many points, the attitudes. We talked about praise, having a thankful heart, be grateful, and celebrate the little successes in your lives. There is power in doing that. So you have to have a heart of praise and praise people around you. You see a little achievement, talk about it, be proud about it, and move on so that you can do more on that, and be positive. Yep. Have a positive mind. Stay on the positive side. And prepare for the negative, right? Yep. So just be assured that the more that you stay on the positive side, there is power in that. That will enable you, that will strengthen you to break through. So it's doable, it's possible. Though people have failed, but remain positive that it's possible. And some have succeeded.
Yes.
So why not you?
Why not you?
Why not you? So be positive in your thinking, in your interaction with people, in your considerations, everything. Be positive, for there is power in being positive. And have faith. Have faith in yourself that you got it all. You have it all to succeed.
My goodness.
In this life. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, that you don't know what it takes. You do have what it takes to be successful. So believe in yourself, walk with it, and rest assured, you'll be empowered to get over diseases. You'll be empowered to get over poverty, and you'll be able to build generational wealth for the people, your children, your family, and you're going to be successful. And be pragmatic. Be positive, be realistic, be practical. Know what you are talking about. If you need information, it's out there. Go do your research, read around it. You have all the information. Like I said, you have everything at your disposal to make it in life. So let it happen, guys. Let's go and get it. It is possible.
It is possible.
We will succeed.
Yes.
We'll be victorious in this life. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
My goodness. My goodness. That is a place to give a round of applause. Yes, that is gifty for you, That's why when she's on, it's more lively than when I'm on alone. But hopefully when I make more money, I can make a quicker job and then we can do this together. All right. So we are wrapping up with the show right now. Just want to encourage you to share, keep sharing and liking the stream, because that's how people know what is going on. And then more people will come on. We still have some more interesting topics relating to the power of attitude and poverty and disease. We're still going to hit a little more before we leave that. We have a whole plan to also, take months into specific health conditions. We just want to make sure that we have done this deeper enough for everybody that is watching. So keep watching, and you never know what is coming next. I'm pretty sure we're going to get Dr. Back, and then we're going to talk about how he did become an entrepreneur, from an immigrant to all the business that he has been able to raise. And then we're also going to have people on the show that is going to talk to us about finances, how to basically secure your financial future, not just you, but for your children's children. We hit on that a little bit, but we want to bring an expert. And that is based on what we have already alluded to, what Gifty and I have done in terms of certification and stuff like that. Be thankful for what you have, the family and the children, and the spouses you have, and the place you live. Be just thankful. Be thankful, because other people want to get where you are and they haven't yet. So you be thankful and be grateful. All right. In that way, we're going to end by saying that, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.